Hi, my name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman & Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues. Please subscribe to our channel. You know, lawyers play a very, very crucial role in the divorce process, but they don't begin to play that role until you decide that you want to get divorced. In other words, we are not part of the decision-making process to divorce or not to divorce. So sometimes people will call me and they'll say, well, I'm thinking of doing this, I'm thinking of doing that. Should I do this and should I do that? Not really deciding to get divorced, wondering how to handle their husband, how to handle their wife. And the truth of the matter is, while lawyers are also called counselors, and we have the ability to give certain advice, most of your divorce lawyers don't want the responsibility of coaxing someone one way or another. They also don't want an appearance that'll seem like I'm trying to convince you to get divorced so that you'll buy my product, so to speak. In other words, so that you'll hire us to represent you. So lawyers avoid that conflict by telling people, look, if you want to decide whether you want to get divorced, speak to a marriage counselor. Speak to your mom. Speak to a priest. Speak to your girlfriends, boyfriends, your social circle. Figure it out already. By the time you come here and you sit in these chairs, that decision is already made. We're not part of that process. What we do is we tell people, look, now that you've made your decision, here's what we will do. Once you decide to get divorced, at that point we will give you some advice on how best to protect your assets between now and the time the court freezes everything. What you should or should not do to avoid having your spouse, for example, liquidate the bank accounts, run up the charge cards. Obviously you don't want to do that. How you can better put yourself in a position with respect to custody issues. That's important advice that we give here at the firm. But again, it's all once the decision has been made to get divorced. Until you've made that decision, you really shouldn't be seeking divorce advice because it somewhat taints your process. Your process should be, is my marriage salvageable? If the answer is still yes, then don't have divorce lawyers whispering in your ear. Work on salvaging your marriage. Can it be saved? Maybe it can be. Maybe it's just something that needs to be tweaked. Some small thing that you can do to put it back on course. You know, when you're flying an airplane, pilots will tell you that if you're just off by a little bit in terms of your pathway, you can end up thousands of miles off course. The same is true in your marriage. You can end up way off course from where you want to be if there's some adjustment that you fail to make. Pilots in the sky are always making adjustments to make sure they're back on course, and you might have to do that too in your marriage. Maybe it's something you can tweak. Maybe your situation is salvageable. It may not be. If you've determined that there's nothing left to save, which means the fabric of your marriage is worn through and through and there's nothing left, then of course, contact lawyers and they'll help you along the way as it relates to the legalities that needs to be done to protect your rights. But of course, the decision to divorce or not to divorce is yours and yours alone. Let's hope those decisions are made wisely and judiciously. If you have any questions about that, reach out. We'll be glad to help you out.